Thank you, Mr. Lees, for your kind words. I'd like to begin by extending my gratitude to everyone in this room, from the faculty and teachers who have taught us all the values and lessons Randolph has to offer, to our friends and family who have helped craft us into the fine men and women we are today. A special thank you goes out to my grandmother, who is visiting from India to attend my graduation, my mom and dad, whose endless expectations continue to serve as my motivation, and my brother Teja, who actually just surprised me by showing up 30 minutes ago, who has been my greatest cheerleader, counselor, and friend for these past few years. I cannot thank you all enough. There have been a fair share of advisors and helpers at Randolph as well. Although he never taught me formally, Mr. Townsend in particular has contributed to ensure our senior year truly lived up to the hype. I'll never forget the effort he put into our senior activities, or the endless barrage of Star Wars memes in our class group me. After a wildly successful senior year, I can finally say, it's over, Mr. Townsend. I have the high ground. But Star Wars references aside, it is a pleasure to speak on behalf of the greatest senior class this school has ever experienced. Just think back to the wake we'll be leaving behind when we depart. For the senior-riddled football and baseball teams, reaching the playoffs has now become a regularity. Our science ball team qualified for nationals for the first time in 10 years. The girls' cross-country team went back-to-back, and the soccer team won a state championship. And another one, and another one. But while the first 3 years were a blast, senior year has undoubtedly been the cherry on top. Somehow, it honestly felt like Matthew Stopanol spent the entire year running. And likewise, Samil Joshi spent the entire year running late. After years of Halo versus Call of Duty debates, Halo by the way, we've all discovered a collective obsession with Fortnite. And somehow, oddly enough, eat my shorts has evolved into somewhat of a class motto. And to all the concerned parents and faculty, no shorts were consumed during senior year. Ironically, the events that are the most memorable in my mind aren't the plethora of successes, but instead the infamous not-so-hot moments. Everyone must vividly remember when the dawn of the middle school black market, Mahip Kalra, illegally distributed the most addictive item known to mankind, Pokemon Fire Red. The game spread quicker than senioritis, as everyone set out to catch them all. Even though Mr. Moore made the fiasco short-lived, there's no doubt we all walked away with the knowledge of how to properly tilt your laptop screens to hide your work. There was also the occurrence when Mrs. Robb happily awarded the entire House of Discovery demerits for engaging in a fight during CPR class. Despite Sam's initial encouragement to throw a shoe at Jackson Vest, each of us still became certified, and my eyes were opened to two crucial realizations. One, shoes are meant to be worn, not thrown. And two, I should not be playing any sport that involves throwing of any kind. Also, sorry about that, Jacko, at least I didn't hit you. But believe it or not, it is these mishaps that have built us into the people we are today. Since Mr. G taught us that meaning can be found even in the most obscure places, I'd like to explicate the essence of the 150-year-old Chinese finger trap. I'm sure anyone that has attempted this seemingly elementary puzzle displayed a reaction quite similar to mine. The goal is to remove your fingers from the binds of the tube, and everyone begins with the same smug face, often flooded with confidence. But then you try to remove them, and you pull harder, and then that confidence quickly turns to dismay. But the secret is rather simple. Pushing your fingers in loosens the trap, thus allowing each finger to effortlessly slide out. At first glance, it seems rather paradoxical. Your final goal is to remove your fingers, but the crucial step involves pushing them in further. It's this step that parallels to one of the greater ideas in life. Even if a particular event seems unproductive, seems to hinder your progress to your final goal, it could be vital in the larger frame of mind. Take your mind all the way back to freshman year, when we were all thrust into the hierarchical chaos and unfair jurisdiction known as high school. We had just gotten stuck in the finger trap, and getting free would mean surviving, prospering, and thriving through high school. However, attempting to do so from the beginning was a fruitless effort. The matrix of high school simply tightened its grasp on us. What needed to happen is we needed to fail. We needed to receive grades that seemed to place our ideal GPA out of reach. Mrs. Santos's horrific tests, Mrs. Russick's essays, and that one time Mr. Treadwell failed us all on the Alexander the Great essay. I still remember that. They all seem so inconsequential now, but the struggle of dealing with these hardships forced us to adapt, learn, and eventually prosper. It was these failures that allowed the trap to loosen and set us free to be ourselves. Trust me, it's completely okay to fail. Behind each and every one of my awards is a test that I bombed, a contest I did not qualify for, or a college I was rejected from. All of us have had our painful moments, but even after all of them, we still made it here, on the brink of graduation. Failure is one of the few things that is guaranteed in life, others being that Will Griffin will forever get buckets, and Johnny White will not cut his hair. What's crucial is that we face these unexpected mishaps head first, ready to conquer them. And if there's one thing our grade has experience with, it's dealing with the unexpected. We all saw modern fashion icon Emma Hovanes surprise us all with her spontaneous yet impromptu rendition of Sean Kingston's Beautiful Girls. Nathaniel somehow managed to completely fracture the strongest bone in the human body while playing a non-contact sport. And perhaps the most surprising of all, Crockett Worthington showed up today. Each and every one of us is bound to achieve great things. I can feel it. We've had our potential on full display throughout high school, and considering our previous successes and struggles, our future ones will be that much greater. Whatever our successes may be, they're bound to be the culmination of dozens of hardships. Sarah Lane may appear on Dancing with the Stars. Bankston could top the New York Times bestsellers list, and Emily Johnson might even topple the traditional societal constructs of today's age. Our passions range far and wide. That's what makes our class so unique. So when you chase your passion, don't be afraid of failing. Be fearless, learn from your mistakes, and remember, you need to push your fingers in before you can release them from the trap. So the next time you encounter an obstacle, mistake, or failure, be thankful. Don't just cherish the moment, cradle it. Thank you.